Hello, this is Irina from Lalan Crafts. I'm back with another card making tutorial. In this tutorial we're going to make a card with superhero Luca, and he's on the wobble spring here, and inside we have another surprise. It's a pop-up gift card holder, and the space we're going to create with one of our newer dies. And this space can be used to put the gift card holder, as I have it here, or you can put a note or pictures or a little gift or anything that you prefer into this space. I'm going to list all of the products that I'm using in the video description, as well as the dimensions of all of the layers. So I have my card base already cut, and the card base measures 5 3/4 by 11 1/2, and then it's scored at 5 3/4 and folded. And then for the layers I have the Kraft Cardstock. It's a square 5 3/4 by 5 3/4, followed by, I'm sorry, I'm going to take this back. This square measures 5 1/4 by 5 1/4, followed by the gray cardstock 5 by 5, and followed by the pattern paper 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. I'm going to grab my glue and glue the layers together. So onto the gray cardstock first, and then onto the Kraft cardstock. And then I'm going to glue this layer flat onto my card base. Like this. Then the next thing I have here is the layer of the blue paper, and I have cut the top of it, rounded it up with the double stitched heels die. And this die, the reason it's called double stitched is because it has stitching on both sides of the die. So when you cut it, you get two shapes, the heel and then the negative part, and we're going to use the negative part on inside of the card here. So first, before attaching this heel to the card, I'm going to use the border. I have two die cut, one under it and another on top of it to create this effect. And the die that I'm using is called Stitched Tabs die. I'll put the links to all of the products in the video description. So if this is something that you see in the video you would like to use on your projects, you'll have an easy reference or where to find it. So one goes under like this, and then I'm going to put another one from the top. So for this card, since I'm using the superhero Luca stamp, I chose more of the manly, I suppose, colors. But the same card can be designed. See how pretty that is? So this is the stamp I'm using, superhero Luca. And it's a rubber stamp and comes with the 2 sentiments. But if you choose to do it for a girl or a woman in your life, you can simply change the colors of this card and you can use our superhero Marcy. And that would be really pretty too. So now that I have my borders, I'm going to glue this layer onto my card front. And you can decide which way you want your card to open. I opted to open it this way, and I think in this case it works the best since we're going to have the pop-up inside. Like this. The next thing, I'm going to work on the scene behind Luca, and I'm using the Polaroid what do you call it? Polaroid frame die. And you can see this is the shape right here, and this die comes with other elements as well. I'm not using these elements on my card, but it comes with the tag, the photo camera, and the film strip. So I already die cut this from the Kraft Cardstock, and I already die cut this element. It says today, and it has really pretty stitching on it. So this is how the die looks like. I'm going to glue it behind the Polaroid frame on the left side. I'm going to add glue to this little strip where the word is on and put it onto the left side, just like this. It adds really nice element. We have another die similar in the same style as this that says happy. So for this card I chose the one that says today. Then from the front of the card I'm going to use, the front of the Polaroid frame, I'm going to use the skyline border. I die cut it from the gray cardstock, and I'm going to actually cut the 3 buildings on the left. So as you can see, when I line it up, these buildings fit here nicely, 6 buildings here, and then I'm just going to cut it like this, and I'm going to glue it a little bit higher to show the Polaroid frame still there. Like so. And then I'm going to glue, I have a little strip of the red pattern paper, and it measures the same length as the Polaroid frame. So it's 3 1/4, and then it's 1/4 tall or wide. Just another element there. I love layers, if you know me. And I'm going to glue it so a little bit of my gray is still showing as well. Like so. Now I really love this effect, and I learned it from my friend Marta. She did it on one of her projects, and I really loved it. So I want to put my other buildings that I cut off behind to create more dimension, more interest. But before I put them behind, I'm going to use vellum, and you can see how pretty that looks. I really love this effect. So I cut the piece of vellum to fit behind my Polaroid frame. So I'm going to put a bit of glue here. And put the vellum on. And now I'm going to glue my buildings behind like so. And I'm not going to put the glue on the buildings themselves, the one that's showing, because I don't want that to show through my vellum. I'm just going to put glue on the bottom. I seriously love this effect, so pretty. And then I'm going to use a cloud behind, right here behind the frame on the top left corner, and this was die cut. The cloud is from this set. It's called Stitched Sun and Clouds. Actually there are two clouds, so you would use your wire cutters to remove the smaller one out, and this is the bigger shape, like here. So I'm going to put it behind, and I'm going to put the glue behind my frame again, so the glue is not showing through the vellum. Isn't it pretty scene? Just so cute. And now that I have this layer ready, I can put it onto my card front. The other element that I'm going to have here is this arrow. So I just want to make sure that everything fits before I glue it. And this arrow was die cut with this set. So it has two different types of arrows, and then it has a little tab. So this is a really nice set to have additional elements on your card. So I'm going to go ahead actually and glue the arrow on first. And this way I know how much space I need for the frame. So now I can put the glue on the buildings too here. And on the cloud as well. The glue I'm using is called Dries Clear, and it's by Art Glitter, and you can also get the little tip to go on the top of your bottle that really helps to glue little die cuts and other elements, and I use it for the card making as well, to put the card together, as you can see. So I'm going to align it a little bit sideways and glue it on. So pretty. So as you can see, Marcy would fit on here nicely as well, even in the same colors. Okay, so then before putting my image on the wobbly spring, I'm going to work on the inside of the card, because otherwise it would be hard to open it all the way. So for the inside of the card, I have 2 layers of Kraft Cardstock, and they measure 5 1/4 by 5 1/4, just like I have one on the front. And I'm going to glue one on the bottom and one on the top. I'm going to line it up. Now for the pop-up element, here I have my Kraft Cardstock die cutter ready, and it measures 5 1/4. It measures 5 1/4 by 3 3/4, and I scored it at 3/4 of an inch, 1.5 inches. I'm gonna just double check myself, and 3 inches. So let me write it down. So this measures 5 1/4 by, what did I say, 3 3/4? Yep. And then I scored it at 3/4, 1.5, and 3 inches. Now I'm going to use my bone folder, if I brought one here. Doesn't seem that I brought the bone folder with me, so I'm just gonna try to use the side of the scissors to make these folds crisper. Here you go. And on my outside flaps, so on 2 of the smaller ones on each side, I'm going to cut out darts. So these flaps are going to be attached to the card, so it's better to have it clean so you don't see the corners. Like this. And I'm going to glue the pattern paper's layers on. So this layer measures, the wider part measures 5 by 1.25, 5 by 1.25, and then I have another one, the skinnier one measures 5 by 1/2 inch. And I'm going to glue one on the wider part here. And then my second one onto the skinnier space there, on the one, not on the flaps, not on the outside flaps, the one that's in the middle. Like this. So this will be my pop-up element. And now I'm going to cut out the space for the gift card holder, this space here. So I'm using one of our newly released dies. This is called Stitched Slots, and it comes as a set of 2. One is longer and another one is shorter. So I have one already, so you'll simply separate the die. I have the longer one here, and I'm going to put it on this skinnier space, and I'm going to use removable tape to hold my die in place. I'm going to position it. And then I'm going to use my die cutting machine. I'm going to use my cuttle block. And I'm going to turn this layer upside down. I'm cutting through 2 layers, as you can see, through my Kraft Cardstock, and this cardstock is on the heavier side, and also pattern paper. So when I need to cut something more intricate or something through more layers, I tend to turn my die cutting upside down so the die is facing up, and it seems to work better this way. And because I'm going through so many layers, I'm going to run it through a few times just to ensure that it die cuts and goes through all of my layers. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so as you can see, it die cut nicely. So now I just need to remove the die. And ta-da, I have the opening. Now I'll show you the easy way to put our pop-up element into the card. I'm going to use the double-sided tape, and I'm going to put one line close to the fold, not over the fold, but close to the fold, and then I'm going to put another one next to it. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Now this is the way my card opens. So this is the bottom, this is the card front, and I'm going to attach my layer with my space for the gift card or anything that you're putting there on the top. So I'm going to align my, so this is, I'm holding this upside down with the slit on the bottom, right? And I'm going to align it right next to the fold. So the width wise it matches the layer, so it's really easy to line it up. And then I'm going to bring it close to the fold. I'm not sure if you can see it on the video, but I also like closing my card like this, making sure that I'm not going any closer on the fold than I have to ensure that I can still move the card front easily to close and open. And then once I'm satisfied with the placing, I'm going to bring this fold down and remove the backing of the tape, and then close it back in. So that was pretty easy. Now to attach the other part, I'm going to fold it on the second line like this. So you can see your slot here in front of you. So I'm folding on the second line, and now I'm going to remove the backing here from the tape. Now I'm going to keep on holding it, and now I'm going to close my card and press on it, and it's done. So as you can see, this is done. This worked perfectly, lined up perfectly. So this is very easy way to do it. No stress. Now to finish the inside, I have the white layer, and this white layer is cut 5 by 4.5, and I'm going to put it right here on the bottom layer. I'm going to leave this part uncovered with the Kraft Cardstock because it's kind of everything flows together, and I like that look. If you prefer, you can of course do another element there on the top. So this goes here. And then I have the negative part of the heel that we were using on the front of the card, and I'm going to put it on the bottom right here. And I like how the pattern kind of flows from our card holder. So pretty. Now I'm going to embellish this part of the card holder, the pop-up, and I have the second one of the skyline border die cut. So I'm going to go ahead and glue it right there in front. And this step you can do actually before you put the pop-up element inside of the card. Would be easier, but I missed it, so now I'm going to put it on at this point. And it's not too bad, you can still hold it and see it. Here you go. Just gonna hold it a little bit for the glue. Pretty. And now I'm going to put the sentiment in front of it, and this is a sentiment die that says celebrate you. So it's a little die like this, and it comes with both of the words. I'm going to glue it onto the front, in front of the buildings. And this is where this glue comes very handy, because you can actually use the little tip of it on the letters. Just add little dots. So celebrate goes on. And this card can be used for birthday or for congratulation. And sometimes it's hard to make designs for the boy cards or man cards. But with these dies, it's pretty easy. And to finish embellishing it, I actually have some stars that I die cut already. And these dies, let me see, where is my die? They come from this set of 4 dies. So you have 2 large filigree dies and then 2 smaller dies. So I have the 2 smaller dies. I took them apart, so I have this here, and as you can see, actually from these 2 dies you get 3, because this larger die here, you get the negative part, and then you get the smaller one that would go from the inside of it. So I'm going to use the medium size star here on the side, and then I'll use 2 other dies, or 2 other stars on the front once I put my Luca. So this goes here, so it's a nice element. Here's my card. And now we have Luca to put on. So I have him already colored and cut out, and I'm going to put him on the wobbly spring. So the wobbly spring, the one I have, comes in the box like this, auction wobbly springs, and the one I bought was 4 dozens because we've been using it in classes, but it also comes in smaller quantities, so you can buy 3 or 6 or 12. And this wobbly spring is different on both sides, so there's one side that is thinner and it's kind of flexible, and then the thicker side. The thinner side goes to your image, and then the thicker side would attach to your project. Now, all of this pretty much wobbly springs, they would have a different, some of them might have different spacing, and as you can see, this is not exactly parallel. So before I put my image on, I like to line it up and see where how it balances on the spring to make sure my image is on even. So I'm just kind of turning it different ways to see the best way to put it on. I think about right here is good. So once I have him placed, I'm going to press into it, and I'm going to hold it together without moving as much as I can, and I'm going to turn it to the other side. So see, this is not centered at all, but it's centered to the balance of my stamp. So I'm going to hold it, and I'm going to use the pen, or pencil rather, and go around it for the reference. And also I'm going to make a vertical line so I know which way the shape goes back on. So now I can remove the backing, and it's sticky here, so I don't need to use the glue or anything. And now I'm going to line it up with my reference marks and put it right back where it was. Perfect. So now I can remove the backing from the thicker shape and position Luca on my card front. So I want him to fly over my scene, over my cityscape, somewhere right here. Cute. So now I'm going to add my 2 other stars. Like this. Perfect. So a little glue on. And the smaller star. So this is a really cool interactive card with Luca flying over the city on the front, and then we have a nice pop-up element on the inside of the card. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned a few things and decide to make one on your own. If you do, please make sure to share with us on our Facebook at La La Land Crafts. You can find us there, or you can, if you post on Instagram, don't forget to tag us at La La Land Crafts. All of the products are available on our website at lalalandcrafts.com, and I'll put all of the direct links on the video for your easy reference. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time, much love.